Biggest game this year, definitely.
Easily, yeah.
Only a win will do, not a draw. It's got to be a win.
The importance of today is if we win and we go up to First Division. Presently we're in Second Division.
If Brentford went to Division 1, that would be massive, isn't it? That is massive.
And it's not just about the game on the pitch. It gives people a sense of community and a feeling that they belong.
Everybody knows everybody. You come to the game week in, week out, you see the same faces, you're all like a big family.
See you again. That's like a soup.
Yeah. Right. I just love the club, love everything about it.
My team, I mean, you stay loyal to a team, you know.
Bees.
I got this done last year.
You love the game, you love the team you support, and it just drives you on, doesn't it, through thick and thin.
Yeah, it's all about singing, getting right behind them. Just can't wait to get in.
Everyone I know supports Brentford, so it's just like a family thing.
My granddad, my father, me, my son.
It is like a religion.
Either you're a B or you're not to be.
I'm Brentford till I die. I'm Brentford till I die. I know I am. I'm sure I am. I'm Brentford till I die.
It's Brentford all the way, always.
Can't change.
Whatever division they'll be in, Brentford.
Always support Brentford.
We wouldn't support anyone else. It's in the blood, yeah.
It's in the blood.
It's in the blood.
Come on, we're all tired, but this is the last bit. We've got to deliver a few special letters from Luke.
Time of you do the megaphone stuff?
11 o'clock, is it?
No.
10?
Paul's meeting them at 10.
Well, let's
now, I think.
What area's not done now?
I've just got to do a little bit of the estate, at least not go, but
What, Burford?
yeah, Burford and Capons. And then,
Well, I do that.
oh, you do
If
those
anyone's
two.
got, I'll do those too. A lot of people haven't heard of Brentford other than the football club. Don't even have a tube stop in Brentford. The tubes don't stop at Brentford. There's a train station, but the tubes don't stop there. So without the club, or in the borough or in the vicinity, it just become like Isworth, which has got nothing going for it really.
My major social outlet at the weekends, the thing that lets me off, lets me let off steam and just relax and enjoy myself is going to watch football. If that's under threat, I'm talking about the rest of my life here. I'm not talking about, so if I have to give up 2-3 years of my life to make sure that I've got 35 years of my life of being able to go to football, I'm going to do it. Of course I am.
Vote for our man Luke Curtin. He's our candidate in the Brentford ward. We've got plenty of teams out and about doing lots of houses. Get as many people out as possible.
But I don't think any of us really bargained for being out leafleting doorsteps at 5:30 in the morning. A few years ago, if you'd have told me that I'd been doing that on behalf of the club, I think I'd have laughed at you. But it's definitely a disillusionment with mainstream politics in Britain at the moment, and well, maybe we're a product of that, I don't know.
Single issue campaigns are getting more popular as each election comes round. Much as we love this place, beautiful stadium, but it's very old, there's no room for redevelopment. So we need to move stadium, which is what the campaign is all about.
Brentford falls within the borough of Hounslow. It's a good community, some good people. I think the most significant challenge that we face now, and I wrote this recently, is an uncertain future. And I think that probably applies to a number of other clubs across the country. How successful our future is very dependent on whether we get a new stadium or not. We desperately need a new stadium.
We do need a new stadium. And we need to safeguard Griffin Park, because we can't leave it without a new stadium. There was this position, we're still stuck now.
Griffin Park was built in 1904, and really it was built for football in a different era.
36,000 fans in the grip of cup fever at Griffin Park to watch Brentford in stripes, Higher Sailor and Pompey. And the Bees are using shock tactics round the Portsmouth goal.
Brentford were formed in the latter half of the 1880s. It was an offshoot of a rowing club, and soon realised that in fact the footballing was much more popular than the rowing.
And the final score is Brentford 2, Portsmouth 1.
They had a very, very rapid rise. All the way through the 30s, they were quite a force to be reckoned with.
In the field, Blackpool on stripes, and in the stands, heads, heads, heads.
The 1938 season, just before the war, we were one of the two top London sides, along with Arsenal. It's a real sense of occasion and excitement. They used to jam everyone in.
I know the biggest gate was 38,500, but if you go out in the stadium now and imagine 38,500 people, it's just impossible to imagine. I mean, it was all terracing there. There was very, very few seats, if any.
We'd grown bigger and bigger, and we were getting big crowds, and the expectations had grown. And we were pushing to win the title, and then war came. We'd spent lots of money on best players, and it was all gone. All the players left, and then the very season after the end of the World War, we got relegated, and we never recovered.
I think any football club, to sustain reasonable gates, needs to be successful. Brentford really didn't get into a position where it was successful for a sustained period. The last time it was in the First Division was 1993.
What happened today? Well, we lost. Well, we didn't lose, we drew. If we'd have won today, we'd have got promoted. It's just one of those things. It's a goal they got, equalised, made it a draw, and cost us promotion. You need that promotion to survive, really.
Please clear the pitch now. Please clear the pitch.
How did it go today?
Well, it could have been better. We didn't lose, but it was like losing.
When Ron Nodes came here in 98, he was owner, chairman and manager of the team, and that was quite a successful period. We won the Third Division Championship, which obviously was fantastic for the club and the supporters. He really wanted to push on and get into the First Division as quickly as possible. That was the plan. But unfortunately, like anything else in life, you can't guarantee it.
How would you describe the passion here in Brentford for the team?
Difficult. I should think, except for 5% of the supporters, excellent.
Brentford supporters on the pitch.
Ron knows he's a leech. All he wants to do is finish our club off, so like people from London, West Londoners who have nothing.
Right.
Who have nothing.
From the heart, you're doing well. You're from the heart. Tell the man the truth.
Yeah,
because you are. That is the truth.
We want to be finished off by Ron knows, but we ain't having it. We're going to fight to the end, as fans.
What has been achieved this season has been achieved despite Ron Nodes. You know, his best efforts to screw us over.
He's got to put his hand in his pocket and get some money to go into the...
His hands are too short and his pocket's too long.
He's got to get his finger out of his arse first, doesn't he?
He said he doesn't want to put any more money in the club if we're not being promoted.
He's only in it for himself. He doesn't do it for the love of the club. He's not here for that. He's here to make what he can out of it, sell it on. If it leaves us nowhere, he doesn't care. It's Ron Notes.
What's the 5%?
Well, 5% are just nothing. We're pleasing whatever you do.
Difficult job.
Yeah, hard job, yeah.
We love you.
Ron Nodes is seen as the evil emperor. I don't buy into that. He's more aware than anyone else that the club is financially screwed.
He's been criticised looking at too much as a business, and you know. But at the end of the day, what do people expect? You know, the days of benefactor chairman have gone. I don't think any supporter has the right to expect their chairman, the club's chairman, to just keep putting his hand in his pocket week in, week out, year in, year out. without there being at some point where you have to say enough's enough. This thing's, this thing's got to stand on its own 2 feet.
One more if you need it, take one off. Cheers, Roy. Yeah, it's fair to say this isn't quite going according to plan. Cheers, Roy. Got a slight problem at the moment. I need some people to turn up, really.
We needed the local politicians to be taking an active role in finding a solution for Brentford Football Club. Not giving us money, just finding a solution. They just didn't have an interest, just absolute apathy, just no interest whatsoever.
Yeah. Right. Fine,
See you later then.
See you then, take care.
You're just another business, which is one of our posters tried telling Edward that Brentford Football Club is just another business, It's not. It's an integral part of the community.
It's a local club, and today obviously it brings all the community together and gets everybody involved.
Oh my God, I've been coming here since 1947-48.
Came with Mum. She used to bring me down here and then finally played for them. And now my son's plays for them as well.
I'm a school teacher at a local school and I brought kids here and now they're buying season tickets and gets them to come in.
I've done some football training with them in football in the community. That was when I was about 11 and I've supported them ever since.
We've done pretty well today. It's got about 30 new members, so we're happy with it. Think about how we can... Whilst represents everyone. Any support, any age, any culture and preference. We're there to represent them. Still full steam ahead. Yeah, we're not letting this rest. We'll be doing probably in the next 15, 20 minutes.
We're talking about community and tradition and a sense of belonging to an area. And you need an institution. It might be a church, it might be a football club, and people recognise us as being part of the fabric of their community. And those are the sorts of things that matter to people. They may not actually be interested in football, but they recognise us as a legitimate feature of where they live. So when we're knocking on doors, we mean something to them. We have significance.
I would like tea.
Yes, please.
Tea.
I think if
Coffee.
you can put the tea in a bowl and I could soak my feet in it,
Tea.
No other community community group can attract 11,000 people into the borough every other week. It just doesn't happen. It's the biggest community asset this place has got.
What is unique about Brentford Football Club?
No, shite up.
It is the only club left in the whole of the 4 divisions with a pub on every corner. Fact.
Okay, yeah.
There is a pub on every corner of the ground.
Absolutely. I grew up watching this team. When I was 6 years old, I came and watched this team. Been in the States 20 years and I've always followed them.
Well, I'm hoping that we can get through to the first division because it does mean a lot to me.
Today is very big, very big. We might go up. We've hardly ever gone up in my time supporting them. We normally play in the same division. Once or twice we've had promotion, relegation, but it's big.
We're 2-1 on to win it, and 2-1 on, and Huddersfield 7-4, so we should win.
The bees are going up! 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 And so say all of us!
We wrote a vision statement about 3 years ago that actually said it was our vision to be playing Premier League football within 10 years. We still remain ambitious, we still remain focused. and we want a new stadium. We need a new stadium. Got to have a site that you're able to build a new stadium at, and you need a minimum 12 acres. Griffin Park is too small. Griffin Park's 4 acres. Even if we wanted to build something that was 15,000 seats, we would need significantly more land than 4 acres.
The council and the football club did a joint feasibility study, and that feasibility study identified certain sites in a borough.
One of them's 5 miles up the road, just right at the side of the M4. So in terms of road access, it's fantastic. The other site is Felton Marinas, again about 4 miles up the road.
Brentford went ahead and did plans for what was penned in as the Bees Dome. Terrible name, but that's what it's going to be. And we're talking about a 30,000 seat stadium, top of the range, sliding roofs, sliding pitches and multi-use, where there was talk of rugby being played, there was talk of making it a national athletic stadium. And then, depending on what side of the story you believe, the council pulled the plug on it. They said you can't build there because it's greenbelt.
Some say it would be a lot easier to get a new stadium built at Felton Arena because you don't need to get a change of use. There's already a football stadium there. Like anything, it's never simple. Felton is in the middle of a residential area, and obviously that's a bit of an issue if your back garden backs onto what is currently a parkland with the occasional game of football and there's a few people watching the games. They don't get large crowds. Then for suddenly a stadium to be being talked about of up to 25,000 seats, then obviously there's going to be a fair bit of opposition to that.
There wasn't any political will from the leadership to make it happen. They didn't promote it. They didn't tell the locals what a great idea this would be for them, because it would have been. They didn't say it's not just about football, it's about bringing the community in. They could have all sorts of community. You could have a physiotherapy pool there, you could have had a leisure centre there, you could have had drop-in centres. All of that could be happening in this hive of activity, all based around this stadium. But it didn't happen, so that disappeared. That whole dream just disappeared.
Brilliant today, it was absolutely brilliant. We're going to Cardiff now, yeah, it's a Millennium Stadium, we're going to play Stoke. It's the greatest feeling. I'm in a lot better mood than last time, as you can see.
Big game, another trip to the Millennium Stadium. Hopefully fans get behind us again and it's all good.
Best result possible. It means there'll be a lot more fans at the game against Stoke, and they should win.
It won't be easy, but we're looking forward to it. It's what we're all playing for, to play in the big games, and hopefully we'll get the right result.
Brentford are taking the hard way under ballet mistress Doreen Hermitage towards better football. Doreen tells them that ballet is the best of all muscle trainers. The skipper, Bobby Gelson, and his team will try anything to take them out of the 4th division back to the 1st, where the club belonged in the 1930s.
I think the times are gone when it's easy to go from the 4th division to the 1st division on merit alone. I just don't think that's possible anymore. It's very sad, but probably true.
Who wants it? Who wants it? Get it in your mind! Good!
If Brentford unearths a great player, We just know that he's not going to be at Brentford very long. He's going to be found, he's going to be scouted by the top teams and found out, and he'll be off in 1 or 2 seasons.
Hold it!
It's just such a gulf. We can barely compete with the top clubs in our division, let alone the division above or the Premier League.
Commercialisation really started to change the focus of how football worked. Advertising became more prominent. It was really when that started to happen that the big clubs were getting significantly bigger very quickly. But it just drove a wedge between them and those of us that remained in the second, third divisions.
But as I say, quite a few shirts have just come in.
I think that the national games is in crisis because so much of the media glare is on the top division. If you go to Chelsea, it's going to be full of Japanese tourists and Italians, and it's all about street cred. You know, I think if you're a Brentford fan or someone just any low division club, they'll all tell you that they're the real fans, and that the real passion is in the lower divisions.
I have these birthday cards, please. Son.
And it's a shame because, you know, those top 5 clubs are going to end up winning the same trophies every year, and it makes it boring.
Any others? Only that.
You know, if Brentford were one of the top 5 clubs in Britain, I'm sure that I'd see it from a totally different perspective. So.
We've got it in the white or the red.
If we get a bit more support from the local authorities, you know, we might end up with a nice new stadium. I think we could be okay, but then there could be no Brentford in 2 years' time. It's not going to be easy to be a second division football club for the foreseeable future.
We decided that we've got to set up a direct political action group. Didn't know what we were going to do with it, but we had to set it up.
There is widespread ignorance about what the issues are, and that's really all we're trying to do. It's really just highlight that this football club in this community is in danger if we can't, do something about securing a new stadium. We'd like to think this could be a community stadium.
And people might... You don't need to get that many votes to get elected, right? There's 20 wards in the borough. We would have loved 20 candidates, but nature of the campaign, the nature of the fact we've not done anything like this before, we would have been happy with 10. So to have 14 is actually pretty good. One of the major difficulties is manpower and resources, really. We've had to sort of do a bit of fundraising here and there, have bucket collections at the Brentford games, that sort of thing, had a quiz night. We've been asking for donations from Brentford supporters. And anything that's come in has been brilliant. If anyone wants to donate £5 or whatever, or chuck a couple of quid in the bucket, it's all good.
It was a bit weird at first, just seeing my name on posters or up on people's windows, walking around in my estate and seeing my name everywhere, What's Crime Watch, a bit scary, what's going on, why's my name everywhere? The straw that broke the camel's back to actually stand candidates at this election, actually go for it, was we did a questionnaire to every single councillor in this borough, asking for their opinions on Brentford Football Club. Because we happen to know one of the Labour councillors. He leaks a story saying, I've just received this memo that's gagging us. The leader of the council has said, do not reply to this questionnaire as it might compromise our situation with Brentford Football. Shocking, absolutely shocking. So of course this was leaked to the paper. The paper came out with it. Labour leader gags council. You know, big story in the local newspaper. As that's gone out. Then a week later, we get a letter, not a complete questionnaire, a letter, giving the official opinion of the council, signed by 20 councillors. They've all signed. So John Connolly's written it, and they've all signed it. Enough. Fuck it. We're standing against it, and we're going to beat it. That was the attitude at that point, and we went into overdrive then, full in overdrive.
If I take these now and go and do as many chalice and thingy as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I think Clayton is a good one.
Because there's loads of fans, there's also lots and lots of people that have been able to campaign. So whereas the Labour Party have had 2 or 3 people doing God knows how many streets, the Hookah's been able to get together a small army.
The number of votes we get is a bonus. It doesn't matter really. It doesn't matter what we get in terms of votes. It's really just getting our voice heard, and it's trying to take the issue out of the shadows, if you like, and bringing it into the spotlight. That's what it's all about.
We've had a lot of good vibes, and could be a surprise or 2. Fingers crossed.
I'm a great believer in if there's enough will on all sides, things will happen. You can make things happen, but you've got to be fairly determined. And there's no one more determined than supporters of Brentford Football Club. Certainly in the 4 years that I've been here, they've not been the most helpful council. Although they've got a very difficult job as well, because people growing up in this area can't generally afford to stay here because property prices have gone through the roof.
House prices go up in London, people get pushed further and further out of London, and the suburb grows. Well, most Brentford fans sort of move out towards the airport and further beyond.
The increase in property prices will naturally bring about a different makeup of family. They're moving into the area rather than being children that are born here and growing up here and having an affiliation with the football club, and that they actually have no interest in coming to watch football at Brentford.
Football still is a working class game, and it certainly won't be the working classes who will be moving into those new properties, not at those prices.
Simple as that.
These people hate anything that's to do with working class culture, particularly a football club.
Should we just go and absolutely hammer loads and loads of leaflets all around the White House?
Yeah, I mean really, this is what's moving in. We went canvassing down New Road, and they've got these green boxes from the council outside, and the numbers of champagne bottles outside.
Yeah.
And then they're all drinking Chianti. That's the special flavour. No, none of the cheap Aussie stuff that I like. It's all Chianti. You know,
I like
expensive
a glass
stuff.
of Chablis.
I know, but that's what they're doing.
In a 4-pint jug from the Nelson.
So every time there's a football match there, it must be hell for them. They must have to go for a drive around Surrey or something. You know,
the trouble is they move into the area when the ground's there. You know what I mean?
I know. But this is what's going on.
There is a general fear for me if I do get voted is because I don't trust politicians. You know, they're not to be trusted. They really aren't. They're extremely intelligent people who know how to politic, who know how to run rings around you with words, and they know how to corner you. Before you know you said one thing and the next thing you're backed into a corner and you're knackered. You know, and blimey, what happened there? You know, and they will be out to get me. They will, they will be. They will be out to get me, without a doubt. So that holds fear for me, that bit. But you just got to bowl in there. You've got to give it the big one.
Smith, Stephen Paul, 296. Saeed Sasha Kamran, 206.
Politicians have always been faceless people to me. You never meet them, you don't know what they do. I'll just vote them because they're the party. And for the first time in my life, I'm actually ticking a box. For me. I'm voting for me.
Could I then have the candidates, please, for Hounslow West? Any more candidates, please, in Hounslow West Ward? The number of votes cast for each candidate at the election is as follows. Dylan Ajmer Singh, 1,368. Gaur Gyan Chand, 426. Kang Harwan Singh, 490. Malik Asma Rashid, 421. Marchant Philip, 219. Verk Juan Kanwal, 1,228. The following have been duly elected: Jagdish Ray Sharma, Dylan Ajmer Singh and Juan Kanwal Verk.
Well done, Phil. Well done, Phil. I love this bloke. I love him now.
I love him too. One big happy family.
Yeah.
We've not won the election, but we feel like we have.
Feel like we have. Feel like we've won.
Definitely. It's not all about votes tonight.
Yeah.
It's about spirit.
Anderson John William, 390. Durman Neil, 278. Bishop Jonathan Paul, 237. And I do hereby declare that the following have been duly elected: Colin Driscoll, Colin Eller and Bobby Wasson. Any more candidates, please, for Bedfont Ward?
Could we have the agents, please, for Brentford Ward to Committee Room 1?
Where's me flag?
Tomorrow, what's the squad? Can we arrange for them to meet us in the change room? It's going to drop. What time?
Right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there will be a recount on the Brentford ward.
You're ahead by about 15 votes from the third Labour. It'll be all right.
Well, I'm going to go. Let's recounts can take how long?
So we'll be here for 2 hours.
Could I have the agents only, please, for Hounslow South?
I mean, Hounslow's always been such a political closed shop, and, you know, the same party gets elected every time, nothing particularly changes, so there was no reason to think there'd be any tense final moment where anything would be in the balance, but it seems there is.
No, yeah. That's been blocked. That's been mixed. Hold on 1 second.
This is called a democracy, mate. Anyone can stand on any issue. If you're rejected, you're rejected. It's a democracy, you're anti-democratic.
60 seats in this council, where are you?
What do you mean, wait?
There is no...
You're losing left, right and centre, and you're bitter. A bitter, sad, embarrassing man.
You're the sad, embarrassing man.
Why am I? Why am I? We've done well, we've got 300...
Excuse me, what's democracy about? Do you know what democracy is? Take him away, go on.
You don't have to justify why you stand. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, what you're about, you never have to justify. It's a democracy.
What was his point?
His point was, out of nowhere, he just said you're a pathetic fringe party. I don't think... How
pathetic little fringe party.
But I don't know, I mean, how can we be offensive to anyone?
Any more candidates, please, for Heston Central?
What did he say that so agitated everyone? I stood there. John, he was heckling me when I was up there, saying he's a small club for the same day.
Who is he? Where's he from? What party? And he doesn't like getting votes taken away, basically.
Well, basically, yeah, they've been beaten by a community group. We did pretty well in Hamworth Park Ward, and they've obviously run them close in Brentford. So that's what it is. It's just bitterness, really.
They are a single-issue party, and certainly they've gained a lot of publicity. And it's not something, if people want to support them democratically, it's not something I can possibly be against.
The fact we've forced the recount is a win in itself. If I don't get elected, it doesn't matter. We've won. We've arrived. We're on the political platform. We've beaten the Lib Dems. We've beaten the Conservatives. You know, we're there. We're there. We've challenged the main parties. We've got our message across. We've won, regardless of what the vote is. We've won. So I'm well happy. Bring it on.
If we win, I'll get very drunk, and if we lose, I'll probably cry.
Now, what do you think's going to happen today?
We're going to lose.
Brentford will win.
No, we're going to lose.
But will win.
We're proud to the end. We go for the badge. We're seasoned disappointment merchants. We love the disappointment.
The more drunk they get, the more agitated they get as well. But we see how things go, and hopefully there'll be no problems today. Touch wood. It's difficult today because both teams are wearing the same colours. Both teams wear red and white stripes.
You're a star.
No cheering or anything like that.
Candidates, please, for Brentford Ward.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the results for the Brentford ward. The number of votes cast for each candidate at the election is as follows. Cadbury Ruth Margaret, 1,186. Edwards Patrick Lloyd, 933. Horcroft Michelle Francis Ann, 467. Hearn Thomas Samuel, 444. James Patricia Mary, 239. Curtin Luke, 883. Alberta Seema, 870. Roundtree Alfred John Mansfield, 388. Vandenbegen Neil, 371. And I hereby declare that the following have been duly elected: Ruth Margaret Cadbury, Patrick Lloyd Edwards, Luke Kirk.
We hope that we don't ever stand again, because we just want a community arena for the people of Brentford to enjoy and for the football club to have a secure future. And if they don't deliver, we will be back with a more defined, a sharper, much more focused campaign. We'll have a lot of people with a lot of experience, and having seen Luke elected, you could imagine the enthusiasm next time.
3 cheers for Luke Curtin! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Long live Brentford Football Club!
Organised fans can take control, can take their issue into their community, can get elected and actually start to force the rate of change, rather than constantly being passive, the watchers by as sugar daddies come and go and bankrupt their clubs. So I have no doubt that in the football world this is going to be a major event.
Nice
nice one.
It's true. Right. It's Councillor Curtin. It's really happened. You know, what can I say? I'm a bit overwhelmed at the moment, but it's absolutely fantastic. Cheers, mate. It just goes to show that what we said all along is that the people of the borough supported what we were doing. Because they've clearly shown it. Not just me getting elected, but everybody else who stood in the other 13 wards. The amount of votes that we got across the wall was just superb. It just shows that the people of this borough do care for our football club, and it has to be top of the agenda. Thank you. Right.
I just think that they had a little bit of luck. The second goal was 2 deflections, and the first just fell at his feet. We had quite a few in the second half crosses, and things just seemed to drop to the keeper, so we were quite disappointed.
We had opportunities. If one of those had gone in, I think it would have been a totally different game, because we were on the front foot then and they were on the back foot. It wasn't to be. We didn't win. We didn't lose, we just ran out of time, as Vince Lombardi would say.
We've got no money, we're going to lose our best players. Our manager is not under contract. Our chairman isn't interested.
We never play well in playoffs, basically.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Another great Brentford performance from the lads.
Yeah, hold on, let me just get my bag. Yeah?
Is there anything you'd like to say to the supporters?
Thanks for backing us all the way. Everyone at Brentford has tried really hard today. The players have given their all. As the gaffer says, we were unlucky.
I've got 1 more year on my contract, and I'm not leaving now.
Yeah.
So I can't really talk about anyone else's what they're actually doing, but
yeah. But you could be giving instructions to a very different team next season.
Yeah. By a new chairman, by a new manager.
Yeah.
New players might come in, then again they might not.
Yeah.
So I can't really say much at the moment. I don't know where we go from this point onwards. The coach is gone.
The coach is gone.
What, the one which is there, not the one?
Brentford coach.
Yeah.
He's gone.
The heart of our team will be ripped out. We're going to sell our best players. Our manager, who's been the spirit behind the team, is going to leave, and all because we didn't get promoted. And it's kind of depressing situation, because you know that now we've got to start rebuilding again, and the money's not going to be there, and the attendances are going to go down. So it's a cyclical thing, and unless something extraordinary happens, all Brentford fans now know that next season's going to be difficult. We don't even know if there will be a Brentford football club in the next 5-10 years.
You guys going to remain Brentford fans, though, of course, right?
Oh, definitely. Whatever happens, we're going to be Brentford fans, yeah. But if Brentford survives, that's the question, really.
Yeah. We told you last time about we're Brentford till we die. Well, it might be Brentford are going to die before us now. That's what it's true.
The future of the club is in my safe hands.
Today was a huge disappointment, but we came from the bottom right to the top this season, and next year we're going to kill them. Because we have got a killer instinct.
The most important aspect of his election was suddenly Brentford Football Club's plight, financial difficulties, new stadium, everything about it was in the public eye.
Local government, whether in Hounslow or in any other part of the country, can get a bit complacent and can think it knows what it's talking about, what it's dealing with. And it only takes the tiniest issue, local issue, to suddenly energise a group of people who thought that local politics was rubbish, didn't mean anything, into actually thinking that it's really deeply important, to all of a sudden pull the rug out from under your feet. And that's what happened to us in Brentford.
It's certainly woken us up as a Labour Party, and probably the other parties as well.
I engaged in dialogue with them and said, you didn't have to have me elected if you had listened to us in the first place. So let's sit down and talk about it so this doesn't happen again. The council has agreed to loan the football club £500,000. I think that's a slightly different view that they had 4 years ago when they said that the football club was just another business.
People now like the football club, whereas before they found it to be a nuisance.
From a supporter's point of view, we're probably one of the most ambitious clubs in the country. We've got more ambition than Manchester United.
Easy! That's it! Far more ambition than Man United. Far more ambition than them.
Some might argue that over the last 3 or 4 years that my personal development has been so good that I have a responsibility to stand again. I would argue back to them that it was never about that. That was a backdrop to the Brentford Football Club.